So it was February of 2018, on my husband's birthday actually, that I found out I was expecting, and all our family and friends were super ecstatic for us. And then after my first ultrasound, that's when we found out that we were expecting twins. After that was when I started getting excited about the idea of motherhood and actually building a family and a legacy. But then at around the 20-week mark, the doctors informed us that one of my sons was much smaller than the other one. And they had informed me that, it might be a stillborn. You may want to even terminate your baby. Your baby may have Down syndrome. And throughout that process, Delwyn and I decided to continue to praise God and trust in His sovereignty. And I actually had a dream that we had lost one of those babies. And I woke up that morning, I was sobbing because that's when I felt all the emotions and realized that it is a lot to handle, and it is grieving over someone that you never really knew. I hadn't told my husband, I hadn't told my family, and I kept it to myself, declaring that God was greater than it and that He will carry us through, and that I would have my two sons at the end of this. But that's not the plan that He had for our lives.
Losing a son is very much different from losing my mom. And when I lost my mom, that was one feeling, but losing a son was just a whole nother level. It was part of me that we have lost. I naturally want to fix the situation, but I wasn't able to do anything. Nothing I could say or do could have changed the situation. But the only thing I could actually cling on to was my faith in Jesus Christ.
And so at 27 weeks, I delivered via C-section to my stillborn son, Lincoln, and to my warrior, Troy James. Wanna play?
No.
We spent nearly 3 months in the hospital. And there were moments where I would come home and I would be so frustrated at myself, thinking that it was because of my body not being able to carry the pregnancy through.
It's so hard to go through this pain. It's so hard to even think that Krystele and I, as newlyweds, that we had to walk through this right now. But we know that God will use this for the greater good of His kingdom.
And this is a part of our story. And it's going to be a powerful story too that Troy will one day be able to tell, because from the moment he was born, God's hand was over him. And despite science telling us that your son at 27 weeks won't even survive, he did, and he's thriving, and he's no longer the 2-pound baby who had cords and wires and was hooked up to a ventilator in the NICU. He's now a chunky monkey who's crawling and learning how to walk.
It's something that we could have never seen when we were sitting down in that chair in the NICU. And it's crazy how far God has taken us through this whole journey. And now we see the bigger picture of everything else.
And it's a miracle that I'll be able to share with everyone for the rest of my life. And the fact that I've only been married to my husband for 2 years and we've gone through something like this excites me even more for decades to come on what else God is going to achieve in us and through us for the rest of our life.
So freaking
committed to putting their hands to the task of leading you.
Mama. Ma.